What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new season of Married at First Sight, you guys. This is season 18. This is episode 2. Yes, I know I did not do episode 1, but this is episode 2 of Married at First Sight. We are in Chicago this season. This season, I think, is going to be interesting because from what I've heard, there is a little switcheroo with the couples. So we gonna definitely rock and roll with this season. Hopefully, this season is better than last season because y'all know I had to just kind of hop off the bandwagon last season because the couples just got on my nerves last season. So we're gonna see how season 18 goes. And like I said, we're gonna rock and roll with season 18 of Married at First Sight, you guys. If you guys have watched the episodes, feel free. Let me know your comments down in the comment section below. Now, what I will say is this review, I don't anticipate it being a lengthy review simply because of the fact is we're still at the weddings. The one thing I will say is that I'm glad that Married at First Sight did this season is the fact that we ain't waiting three episode. Well, we going into episode 3 next week, but we're on our last couple for their wedding. So I'm like, thank God, because I cannot do 4 episodes of the weddings. Honestly, I was thinking about not even talking about the weddings. I was really thinking about just waiting until we got to the honeymoon to discuss Married at First Sight. But I was like, you know what, JB, go ahead and just do it, right? So we will start this episode up with now, y'all. I'm still getting used to these people, but we're gonna talk about the wedding that we saw in this week's episode. Opened up was with Madison and with Alan, right? Um, huh. Madison got some big teeth. I ain't trying to be funny or shady, but she got some big teeth. Her wedding dress was very pretty. What I will say is, so after they said their I do's, we see them as they went outside to have a conversation with each other, right? And Madison just asked Alan, you know, how did you come to be in this process, right? I was like, girls, for the same reason that you did. Now, I always find it odd when they say they can't find somebody. It's like, where do you, how do you, huh? You can't find nobody, but then you say, let me marry a perfect stranger. It's a little weird to me, but if they like it, then I love it. It's their world. We just living in it, right? So he was like, when he was out looking for his partner and the dating apps is so superficial. I was like, I'll give you that point. I do believe that the dating apps, make everything so superficial. But I was like, whatever, I guess. So that's really, I think they connected on the fact that they kind of do similar work, and that was really it. Let me know if you guys have watched the episode and tell me your thoughts and opinions on Madison and Allen. Like, do you guys think that Madison and Allen will, make it to their decision day and say yes? Right now, the jury is out because again, like I said earlier, there is a couple swap this season. There's like a cheatation situation with one of these couples. I have my thoughts on who I think one of them might be, but we'll definitely get. And I could be way off base, but I kind of have a little guesstimation. But I'm gonna hold off on my guesstimation until we get later into the season and we see when the couples all finally meet up for the first time and they interact with each other. But I kind of have my sneaky suspicions. Oh, you know what? I actually really do have a sneaky suspicion, huh? But we'll get into it as the season goes on. So the next wedding we get to is going to be Carla and Juan. Now, when I first saw the cast photos, right, and I saw Juan, I had to squint a little bit and look at him. I was like, wait a minute. Y'all sure that this ain't the guy from Catfish? Because Juan literally looks like that guy from Catfish. Now, I've never watched Catfish, but Juan legit looks like that man from Catfish. So, Carla, Beautiful girl, right? Beautiful girl, bubbly personality, but talks a whole lot. Carla would be just for the talk, just the fact that she, I mean, when she came down that aisle, are you in love with me? Do you think you're going to be in love with me? It's like, girl, you just met this man for the first time. Can you just say, hi, my name is Carla? Well, not even say, my name is Carla. Just say, hi, how are you? Something to that nature, to that effect. But to ask him all those questions, it's like, oh, you high strung too. Like Carla gives, she's very, to me, she's a little on the airy side, you know, not ditzy, but just a little airy. I was like, okay, cool. Now we see, as you know, like I said, she's getting ready for the wedding. When she came down there all giddy for the wedding, I was like, wow, I don't think I could ever be nearly as giddy as Carla was to walk down the aisle to meet a complete stranger that you're marrying for, marrying and meeting for the first time. I would have the bubble guts. Real shit. I would have the bubble guts if this were me. But again, I would never do nothing like this. It's Married at First Sight is a good show to watch, but for me personally, I just know I would never do it. Absolutely wouldn't. But yeah. So we, like I said, we see them as they get down the aisle. We also, before they got down the aisle, we saw as Juan was with his family, right? So I don't know if with his family, because he did say that they were immigrants, right? And he also talked, we heard them speak in Spanish. So I was like, is that, because I know sometimes when it comes to people who speak Spanish, they speak Spanish with their families because that's what they're used to and that's what they're comfortable with, right? So I was wondering if that was a situation, if that's what this family was comfortable with, or you know, if that's just what they're comfortable with. I'll be politically correct in that aspect, right? Because I didn't feel like looking at them subtitles, so I don't really know what his dad was saying, but his dad was speaking in Spanish, and he got a really emotional when he was talking about this process for him and the fact of him being an immigrant. I was like, okay, all right. I don't know if when it comes to Carla and I was about to call this man Neve. When it comes to Carla and Juan, huh? I honestly feel like Carla might be a little bit too much for him because, like I said, her personality is very bubbly, very over the top. But the one thing I think that they did connect on because when they got down to the aisle, and you guys know the family tells something about Juan and tells something about Carla. I think they both are late because when they said if you guys try a new restaurant or anything, just be sure to tell her what time to be there. And I was like, so she's a habitual person that's late, baby. You wouldn't let. I don't do habitually late people. It just irks my spirit and it grinds my gears, right? But he seemed happy with it, and I was like, oh, okay. So also with Carla, her parents didn't come to the wedding because I guess her dad doesn't want to be on camera. And I was like, okay, understandable. Not everybody wants to be on camera. So her mom ended up writing her a note for her wedding day. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. And so we see as Carla and Juan got married. And I was like, cool. So that is the second couple. Now, the next couple that we have that got married in this episode was, I'm going to butcher their names, Emem and Ikichi. Akichi looks so familiar. Like I feel like I've saw that man before. Now I know that he said he auditioned. He went through the process for Married at First Sight Houston. They didn't find him a match, and so now he is in Chicago. And I was just like, that kind of sounds a little. Never mind. So I don't know how I feel about that because she did ask him after the wedding. She was like, "So, do I have to move to Houston?" She was talking a mile a minute. I was like, Mim, calm down, baby girl. Catch your breath. Catch your breath. I do like both of them. I do like the fact, he works at a college. I like him. I like Amim, and she's her dad is Igbo because she did talk. They did talk about their names. Both of their names are Igbo. Now his family ain't got nothing to do with Igbo, but her dad was Igbo, and she told what her name meant, and I forgot what her name meant. Also, her father passed away about 3 years ago, and when she was with her friends, I got kind of emotional too when they gave her that gift with her dad's picture. I was like, "Oh my God, y'all finna tug at my heartstrings and make me cry," because she was crying. I was like, "Oh Lord, don't have me up here crying. Do not have me up here crying." Right. So we do see that he wrote her a poem because he wants her to know who he is. So she read the poem out loud, and it was like, "Oh, he got bars. He got bars." He also is in music as well, you guys. So, and Ikichi, again, if I'm butchering their names, we'll get it as the season progresses. But Ikichi, again, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and I believe her name is pronounced Amim. If I am wrong, feel free to put it in the comment section or in the live chat. But we see so her mom is also not coming to the wedding either. And I didn't really understand why her mom didn't come because she was talking about the fact in their culture that I guess the problem for her mom is publicizing, you know, the whole arranged marriage thing. I was like, okay. I mean, if it's I don't knock other people's cultures and stuff. So I mean, I understand. I don't understand 100%, but we respect other people's cultures around here, right? So, like I said, they had a conversation with each other after the wedding. I'm just wondering because he reminds me of what was the guy's name on the Houston season? What's his name? Gil, the one that his like he won really. It was one season where somebody had recently just moved to the city, and I can't remember if it was Houston or which season. You guys have to correct me, but somebody had recently moved or they weren't there for that long. It just I don't know how I really feel about Ikichi right about now. But yeah, you guys can tell me what you guys think about Ikichi, and we will go ahead and move on to the next couple, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up is Camille and Thomas. So Camille and Thomas got married in last week's episode. I remember she was the one that was kind of worried if thinking if she should go down the aisle, right? Now we see as Thomas and Camille are talking to each other, right? And what I will say when it comes to Thomas and Camille, he was very like when they sat down, you could see the nerves all over him. And I was like, wow. I mean, again, I get it. This is a process where you just married a virtual stranger. So I would be nervous too. But I mean, the tension was so thick with them two sitting beside each other. I was like, you can tell that he's uncomfortable with this process. And I was like, I wonder why would you sign up for it though? But that's neither here nor there, right? So they are talking. She asked him, what is his last name? He told her his last name is McDonald. He doesn't have any stake in McDonald's company. We also find, he told her that he has a twin and that his twin is married to a twin, and that his two moms were in out there, and he explained it. He was like he and his twin brother, they were adopted, and so he said about 7 years ago, he forged to have a relationship with his biological mother. And I was like, that is commendable, right? That's commendable. Like, I do commend people who are able to not find out that they were adopted and then try to foster a relationship with that biological parent. It ain't something that I've been able to do as, of yet in my life to try to forge a relationship with my biological parent. But you know, it's cool to see when people do have relationships with their biological parents. And that's really it that we saw with these two. Like I said, he was really uncomfortable sitting beside her, really uncomfortable. But let's go ahead and get to the last couple, you guys. And I got a proverbial side eye for this couple. So, Michelle and David. First of all, what is that on? Is that a wig on her head? Like, I'm so confused with her. And I'm so confused with both of them, right? Now, in episode one, she said that she likes light skinned black men. I said, say what now? I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess I ain't not gonna, I'm not gonna yuck on yo yum, right? But it seemed a little weird to me. Then with him, he likes white women with blonde hair and blue eyes. I was like, oh, okay. And I kept looking at him. I was like, is he black? Like, well, not black, because he. So here's the thing. He kind of looks like he could be Tongan, but then I looked at because I was looking at his mama, and I was like, I don't know what his mother is. But then I saw his dad. I was like, oh, he is biracial. So when I said earlier that there's gonna be a couple there's gonna be a little cheatation with a couple, I'm my mind something in David just tells me he's the one. Something tells me that David is that person. I don't know what it is, but it's something about it. Then when he called his mama, his grandma, and his sister or sisters bad bitches, I was like, wow. I don't know if I would ever refer to my mom as a bad bitch or my grandmother as a bad bitch. I don't think I would. I don't think I would refer to anybody in my family as a bad bitch. Maybe like my cousins who I grew up with, but my mom and my grandmother, I don't think I would call my mom and my grandma some bad bitches. But okay, he think they some bad bitches, right? Then he's also talking about the fact that he still lives at home with his parents. Now, here's the thing: what I will say, I ain't passing no judgment on him for living at home with his mom and his daddy. As long as he contributes to the household, like pays some bills around the house, then you fine, right? Because the way that the rent and housing market is set up right about now, especially rent, because I just got my renewal for how much my lease is going to go up or not for next year. Thank God my rent is not going up and staying the same price, because I have been nervous about that for a very long time, right? But thankfully, but yeah, the way that rent and stuff is set up, it's expensive as hell out here, right? So I ain't knocking nobody who live at home with their mom and daddy. I'm not judging you by no means, because if I could, I would, but I can't, right? What else with him? So we also find out with him, his dad got married on his birthday, his brother got married on his birthday. So his wedding day is literally his birthday. I was like, oh, so you think that's like not a tradition, but like superstition, I guess, so to speak, because they got married on their birthdays and their marriages are successful and lasting. I was like, okay, I mean, if that's what you want to go with, then hey, knock yourself out, right? Now, Michelle's father, that man is country, because he told her your dress is purdy. I said, purdy? Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, you guys, that's there. So the episode ended with these two. We didn't get to their wedding in this week's episode. So their wedding will continue into next week's episode. 3 episodes of a wedding with the weddings is just way too long. And then the episode is 2 hours long, Married at First Sight. Yeah, y'all doing the most. Y'all doing the absolute most. But yeah, you guys, we're back on the Married at First Sight train. We gonna rock and roll until the wheels fall off this bad boy this season, or until I get annoyed with the couples. Either way, we're here for Married at First Sight this season. This is episode 2. Be sure to like the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on, and also share the video, you guys. And until the next time, please stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.